Hello everyone, welcome to our video on how to give a basic self introduction. So you have to understand how and why should we give an effective self introduction. Being a fresher or being an experienced person, be it may whomever you are, your first self introduction is going to give you a huge impact to the people one who is going to listen to you. So you have to know how to stand out from the start. So before getting into or engaging into a conversation, you have to give a proper introduction to the person one who is listening to you in an effective manner. So today I'll be showing you some easy tips and steps to introduce yourself well. So let's get started. So, the first question that arises when you listen to the word or when you hear the term self introduction in the sense, why? Why self introduction matters? Why should I give an effective self introduction? And what it is going to give me back when I'm introducing myself in an effective way? First, it gives a first impression. It makes a good first impression because people are going to remember you only through your first self introduction. So make sure that your first impressions are the best one because they are going to play a vital role. This is a crucial part where you are going to set a tone for your future interactions. So the person should be very happy enough to engage in a conversation in the second time or the third time, and then your infinity time and your nth time. So you have to set the tone for future interactions. And third, it is going to build confidence and credibility. So it helps you connect with others, and it shows how professional you are. So let's look at what you should include in your self introduction. How should I draft a proper and effective self introduction? So, for that, you should know what are the key elements of a self introduction. So, in an effective self introduction, you should have all these things being taken place. The first thing, you have to start with a friendly greeting. So it could be either like a polite hello or hello everyone or good morning. So your greeting could be anything, but you should sound more politeful when you are greeting a person. And then you have to say your full name clearly because the name is going to play a very important role in your self introduction. So you have to clearly state your full name to the person. And next, you can share a bit about your background, like where you're from, what is your education, and what are your skills and interests. The education should be of your recent one. So, what have you completed in the recent times? You can mention that under your education part. Skills or interests. So, if you are going to use the relevant skills or a proper skill that is relevant to the job that you're applying for, obviously that should make sense. And next, you're going to introduce yourself with a clear objective. So you have to state why you are into this organization. What is the purpose? Is It can be either be to start your career or you're going to learn something new. You have to clearly state your purpose. And finally, you have to end with a polite conclusion stating that how thankful you are to give this opportunity to introduce yourself. So you have to remember all these key elements like greeting, stating your full name, education, skills, interests, and other background details. You can include your hometown, you can talk about your family, and you have to, the main focus that you have to give on is to state your objective or reason for being there. And finally, you have to end it with a politeful conclusion. So, how you start politely? In the same way, you have to end it politely by thanking for giving that opportunity to introduce you. All right. So, now let's talk about the useful tips to craft a proper and effective self introduction? So, the first, you have to be very concise, which means you have to keep it short. You cannot drag your self introduction for 10 or 11 minutes. You have to be very concise and very short, or you can just aim for 1 to 2 minutes to give your self introduction. And second, you have to practice a lot of times until you are confident. You have to sound really confident when you are introducing yourself, because this is going to give, or this is going to create a first impression. And third, be relevant. So you're whenever you're adding your skills or interests or about your education, you have to make sure that it is relevant to the career that you're going to choose for. Be relevant to the topic and highlight strengths. So you have to give much importance to your positive side rather than your negative side. Of course, you have to mention your weakness, but still give a weightage to your positives. For example, uh, if I'm being very patient, I would highlight that I'm a very patient person. I would highlight my strength. And I'm easily adaptable. Adaptable in the sense I can get adapted to any situation. And finally, foremost thing is practice. You have to practice until you're confident. So, not only these things, you have to stand straight and make eye contact with the person when you're communicating. So, when you're giving a proper and effective self introduction, it is very mandatory that you should have an eye contact with the person. Speak clearly, do not be too fast. So, when you're going to give a self introduction, it shouldn't sound that you're already prepared and you have totally mugged up everything and you're just going to express words in a second. It shouldn't sound like that. You have to sound so natural, have a pleasant smile, and be energetic when you're giving your self introduction, because this positive attitude will make a big difference. So with these tips and strategies, I think your self introduction is going to work great. All right. So now let's take a look into a sample introduction. So to how to craft your introduction, this is a sample which is given to you. I'm just going to read a self introduction for fresher who is giving his self introduction to a group of people. Hello everyone. My name is Jane Doe. I recently graduated with a degree in computer science from XYZ University. During my studies, I developed passion for software development and gained hands-on experience through various projects, including a web application in Java and a data analysis tool in Python. I'm excited about the opportunity to start my career in this field and learn from experienced professionals. Thank you for this opportunity. So, when you're looking into this introduction, you have all the key elements present here, starting with a politeful greeting and then with a clear name and about the education and skills, interests, and then he's talking about his objective, which is very clear. And finally, he's ending his self introduction with a proper conclusion or the closing statement by thanking them. So, this is how your self introduction should be. So, sound confident and give your self introduction in an effective way. Happy learning and thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more videos.